What's up guys, we are back to do another budget deck tech, and today we're looking at the Liliana the Necromancer Planeswalker deck. In this series I take a look at a prepackaged Planeswalker deck, and I see how I can improve that deck by spending just $10 Canadian on additional cards. This deck starts out as a mono black deck, and we're actually going to keep this one fairly simple. A lot of the black cards in this set allow you to return creatures from your graveyard to your battlefield, and we're going to use that to make this deck shine. Our goal is to have a constant stream of creatures coming onto the battlefield, and hopefully this will allow us to overwhelm our opponent. So let's start with the lands. We're keeping it simple with 25 swamps. We are of course going to leave Liliana in the deck. Two of her abilities allow you to bring creatures from your graveyard to either your hand or the battlefield, so she's definitely a welcome addition to this deck. We're adding 4 copies of Open the Graves to the deck. This is an enchantment that currently goes for $1, and every time one of your non-token creatures dies, you get to create a 2/2 black zombie token. A good chunk of our creatures in this deck are fairly small and easy to kill, so hopefully this enchantment will be used quite a bit and create a bunch of tokens for us. Next up is a single copy of Desecrated Tomb. This is an artifact, and when it's in play, whenever one of your creature cards leaves your graveyard, you get to create a 1/1 bat token. So since this card is going for $1.50, I can only add 1 copy to my deck. If you have a little bit extra money to spare, I definitely say add a full playset though. We are adding a full playset of Reassembling Skeleton to the deck, so you do get 1 copy in the original deck, and we're buying 3 more copies at 50 cents a piece. This is a 1/1 creature for 2 mana, and it has an ability for 2 mana that allows you to bring it from the graveyard to your battlefield, and hopefully with those previous cards we just saw, it'll create a few tokens along the way. We're adding a full playset of Doom Dissenter to the deck as well for 60 cents. So this is a 1/1 creature for 2 mana, and when it dies, you get to create a 2/2 black zombie token. And this is one of those cards that we want to die and come back over and over again, just to create a bunch of tokens along the way. We're adding 4 copies of Gravedigger to the deck, 1 from the original deck, and 3 more that we're buying for 15 cents a piece. This is a 2/2 creature, and when you cast this spell, you get to bring a creature card from your graveyard to your hand. The original deck came with 1 copy of Gravewalker, and we're going to leave that in our deck, so this is a 5/5 creature for 6 mana. It has an ability for 7 mana that lets you bring a creature card from your graveyard to your battlefield. That ability is a little bit overpriced, so we probably won't be using it too often. We're also leaving in the 1 copy of Demon of Catastrophes. This is a 6/6 creature with flying and trample for 4 mana. And yeah, you will have to sacrifice a creature to cast this guy, but in our case that's not such a big deal. And our last creature in the deck is Meteor Golem. This one's also coming from the original deck. This is a 3/3 creature for 7 mana, and when you cast it you get to destroy one of your opponent's permanents. So this guy's really important because it's our only way to get rid of artifacts or enchantments. Next up is a full playset of Macabre Waltz for 60 cents, so this lets you bring 2 creature cards from your graveyard to your hand. Next up is a full playset of Murder. So the original deck came with 2 copies, we're buying 2 more for 25 cents a piece. This is an instant for 3 mana that lets you destroy target creature. Next up is a full playset of Abnormal Endurance. So the original deck came with 2 copies, we're buying 2 more at 15 cents a piece. This is an instant, and it has 2 good uses for us. You could use this card to boost one of your creature's power, but more than likely you want to cast it on a creature you know is about to die, and that way instead of going to the graveyard, it comes back to your battlefield tapped. And last but not least, for 25 cents a piece, we're adding 2 copies of Arcane Encyclopedia. This is probably one of my favorite artifacts in this set. It's just a nice way to use your extra mana to draw more cards every turn. And there we have it, that is my new and improved Liliana Planeswalker deck. This deck still has quite a few weaknesses. There aren't a ton of flyers in here, and we don't have a ton of ways to get rid of artifacts or enchantments, but hopefully it's a big improvement over the original deck. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.